We're about to pour leveling compound and varnish this room. In the previous video, I explained to you that I wanted to install the water heater first and then do the floor with polished concrete going around the water heater. That it was just a utility room and I didn't want to make things complicated for myself. Thinking it over, I realized I wouldn't like the job. The old tiles under the water heater wouldn't look clean, so I'll fix the floor first, then install the water heater. I won't install polished concrete. We'll stop at the leveling compound since polished concrete needs a flawless base. I'm halfway done with the tiles, screed and slab, so I need to add mortar to level it. Pour a leveling compound, then varnish it to see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can strip it and try polished concrete instead. But for now, we'll stop at the leveling compound, we'll varnish it, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'm going to explain everything to you, all the steps, the materials, the tools I'll be using. You'll discover everything. So did you notice that the walls are white? I showed you a time lapse of this at the start. I applied plaster, taped, sanded, painted. It's white and clean, just as I wanted. The ceiling is done too. Now we'll work on the floor. I'll have a perfect base to install the water heater, inlets, drainage, water softener, etc. For anyone watching and wondering what I'm talking about, this technical room is right next to it. I turned a laundry room into a bathroom and took the opportunity to create a technical room right next to the bathroom. This will include a water heater, water inlets, drainage, a water softener, and especially bathroom water inlets. If you missed earlier episodes from the demolition to now, I've made a playlist. It's shown here and linked in the description. The panel is installed, so did you get the idea? It was uneven, so to prevent the panel from being uneven, glue was used. Tiles underneath, the VPI V411 Coliflex Premium 2. You'll find the link in the description, along with the primer I'll use. Remove the panel, remove the polyethylene again, and put the panel back on the tile adhesive, and of course, it won't be uneven anymore. I used the laser on the marks I made on the floor. I still measured 7.5 from the edge of the tile to the panel, and here 34, just in case I move the laser. But it went really well, and now, you see we're aligned, we're good. So next step, we're going to make some mortar, the VPI Mortar Pro 300. If I have enough angle irons, I'll make a steel frame. If not, I'll get more. So a steel frame and mortar. The walls and ceiling are plastered, painted white and clean, just as I wanted. I only did the joints and screw heads since it's just a utility room, like I said. So everything is ready and very important. Make sure to vacuum the surface thoroughly. Before making the screed, give it a good vacuum and you'll be all set. I removed the drain, and that's the advantage of the system. Geberit Savian, made of PP. It's a push-fit pipe, so I can remove it and put it back very easily. A straight edge all along. What am I going to do? Slide it? Use a small strip to keep mortar off the drywall and out of the bathroom corner. The VPI Pro 300 mortar mixing resin, VPI latex, 1 dose each of resin, mortar and water are here. I'm making a slurry for a strong bond. Next, we'll produce a more compact VPI Pro 300 mortar, a traditional ready-to-mix mortar. Cement dosage is 300 kilo M3 of multi-purpose sand, 25 kilo bag, with 2.75, 3.25 kilo water per bag. We prepare the slurry, make the mortar, and that's it. All right, the mortar is done. Now it needs to dry well. I waited between 5 and 6 days for it to be completely dry, since I had between 5 and 6 centimeters of thickness. Depending on the area, allow 1 day of drying for each centimeter of thickness. You can tap and feel when it's fully dry and not hollow. The slurry worked well between the slab and the dryer mortar, creating a strong bond. We're ready for the next steps. We'll place fiberglass mesh between the tiles and mortar with adhesive to prevent future cracks. Let it dry completely. Did you notice I sanded everything? It's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended to get a great bond on the old tiles and also to even out the levels. If your tiles were poorly installed, you'll be able to break the edges. With the grinder and diamond disc, we'll also work on the cover, since I was supposed to apply 2-component waxed concrete on it. I know the bond will be strong. I'm changing plans in switching to self-leveling compound, pouring it over the cover. I'll use a primer, but it could still crack. If I use the suction cup and only lift the self-leveling compound while the cover stays put, that would be a shame. So, to avoid that, I'm going to cut with the grinder and a diamond blade about 1 cm deep and at an angle so the self-leveling compound penetrates into the cover. But if it ever breaks, I'll recast the cover with solid self-leveling compound. I could lift it all at once, but the goal here is to pour the self-leveling compound at once to cover the hatch. And for that, I'm going to put masking tape on the angle irons on the cover, and I'll use adhesive sealant to seal it. To avoid using too much, I'll use some rope. Actually, it's the gasket for fireplace insert windows. It's elastic and compresses easily. I'll place it between the angle iron and cover, then add sealant or polyurethane foam. Either way, it'll be watertight. I know the leveling compound won't flow into the crawl space, and it's the same around the edges. Here, I'm going to put some old wooden baseboards, sealant all around, and I'll protect the paint to avoid splashes from the leveling compound on the paint. I'm going to put down a tarp, some masking tape, and then I'll be all set. Then we can apply our primer and pour the leveling compound. Alright, everything is ready. The walls are protected to avoid splashes of primer or leveling compound on the paint, the masking tape is in place, and the seal is around the edges. We're ready to go. The leveling compound is here, and the spiked roller, of course, with lots of little spikes on it. And for those who are wondering, you use the spiked roller directly on the leveling compound while it's still fresh. Don't wait for the leveling compound to dry before using the spiked roller, otherwise you'll make a lot of holes in it. The spiked roller removes air bubbles, levels, and evens the surface, ensuring a perfect leveling compound. But before applying the leveling compound, you need to use the adhesion primer. So the universal primer from VPI, the V030 adhesion primer, covers any interior or exterior surface ready to use about 240 square meters with a 15-liter bucket using the roller already used for the universal primer. Once you're done, you rinse it, you scrub it, and it's ready to go again, the brush for doing the edges. I'll apply the primer directly to the floor. In an hour or two, I can start the leveling compound. And if you wait more than 24 hours, whether for leveling compound or tile adhesive, you'll need to apply another coat of primer once the first primer is on. VPI V125 Prepolis 3 fiber reinforced self-leveling compound, so fiber reinforced T. 3 Renovation on central wood. You can use it on wooden floors. You see fiber reinforced for indoor floors, up to 10 mm, about 5 MP2. With a 25 kilo bag, I'll film the information and you can pause. And in terms of consumption, it's 1.5 kilogram per M2 per mm of thickness. So for me, I have about 6 M2s at 2 mm thickness. So I need 18 kilia. So with one bag, I have more than enough. Everything's dry and ready to walk on. It's perfect. I let it dry for days, so there are some marks where I resumed. I'll explain to you later why, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied. This area here is perfect. Do you remember there's a cover around here? I cut into it so the leveling compound could get inside, and I had a moment of doubt. I thought, what if I end up seeing the grooves through the leveling compound? I had leftover leveling compound after mixing 25 kilo, but only needed 18 kilo, so I poured the extra and brought it here. Now I have a joint line here, but that's fine. I prefer it this way. The water softener will be here and the water heater there, so not much will be visible, rather than seeing the grooves through the leveling compound. So if one day you pour leveling compound over tile joints that are very deep and you want to keep your leveling compound raw or varnished, it doesn't matter. You might notice joints, leveling compound holes or grooves showing through. To prevent this, apply tile adhesive directly to the joints, grooves and holes. Let it dry, pour the leveling compound and nothing will show through. Overall, I'm satisfied. This area is clean and perfect. This area isn't a big deal, as I said. The water softener and heater will be here. Now I'll explain our finishing touches. Vacuuming is crucial when finishing. The leveling compound, you just poured it. You might say it's clean, it's new, but there's still dust around that will be generated and will settle on the leveling compound. You walk on it to check that it's really dry and you have small pebbles under your soles, so you vacuum the leveling compound. You could even lightly sand it if there are small flaws or little bumps. You sand it with 180 grit, and if it's with a slow speed sander. After sanding, vacuum everything to ensure it's clean. Then I'll apply a coat of sealer with a microfiber roller and brush. It comes in 1 liter or 5 liter cans based on your needs. Apply it in the evening around 9 or 10 p.m. after everyone is in bed. When you're alone, apply the sealer, leave the room, and ensure no one else is present. Who would walk by and make dust? It dries in 8 hours, so by morning it's dry. Reseed them if needed, and then we can apply our varnish, again always in the evening. Especially with the varnish, you really don't want any dust. The varnish is a 2-component product. The advantage of a 2-component varnish is that it's more resistant to scratches, impacts, and household cleaning products. So, product A and product B. We mix the two, then apply the varnish with a microfiber roller or a brush. And like I said, we do this in the evening. We're going to apply 2 coats, and once both coats are on, I'll see if a third one is necessary. But I don't think so. 2 should be enough for me. I protect everything by laying tops and boards, then place the water heater on a board with another behind it and move it to its destination. I told you, it's a 2-component product that resists shocks and scratches, but it's still a water heater. To avoid scratching the varnish, I use blankets and boards to move it. It'll happen on its own, but it's the first time I'm going to varnish a leveling compound. Maybe I'll mess it up completely. It could turn out awful. It's just a utility room. We're not going to get carried away, but maybe the result will be really good. And again, it's just a utility room. Okay, so pour filler and then the varnish. Oh, I love you, leveling compound. Yeah, I know drugs are bad, but it's so good, shiny and smooth. The polish has dried well. I'm walking on it in socks. Everything is dry, otherwise it would stick to the socks. So I'm filming all this up close for you. And I love the satin finish of the polish. It's not too shiny, it's slightly satin, it's perfect. So there's only one spot where I completely messed up, it's here. I went over it with the roller again, probably just wanting to add more polish, but you really shouldn't do that as soon as it starts to set. On the first coat, you don't go over it with the roller again. You see here, I did pretty well, but there, I went over it with the roller. Applying too much varnish causes it to pull underneath. It's not a big deal. We'll cheat a bit since it's about 60 centimeters from the rail to the first J mark. The entrance to the room will be over here, so I have the option to create a closet or to put a dryer or a washing machine to hide the mark. It's just a utility room, not a big deal, and it was my first time. For those wondering, the rails acted as stops for the leveling compound. I added masking tape for easier removal. I'll install the water heater, cut the cover, and then we can put up the partitions. I'll also reinstall the rails. But overall, I'm really happy. I love the color, it looks like concrete, it suits me, and honestly, it's definitely worth doing again because the result is great. I don't know how it's going to look on video, but I love it. Personally, I'm a huge fan. So, for those who are wondering, the varnish doesn't have much of a smell. It's a two-component product, but honestly, the smell is fine. It's not bad. To cut the lid easily, I placed a sheet on the floor with masking tape. I had already marked everything relative to the partition and back wall, and you can see the lid's outline. After installing the water heater, we can place a rail on the floor. Using the grooving machine, I cut the foam joint with the cord, then we lift the lid. I'm happy with the result, as I've said. It was my first time applying varnish on a leveling compound, so I wasn't sure what to expect. Well, now I know what mistakes not to make again. Rolling over the same spot for too long creates marks right away. It's better, if anything, to use a brush instead. It will take longer and be less convenient, but a brush can create effects that a roller can't. I wanted more nuance and a concrete look, since with a uniform floor, color and varnish, it just looks painted. That's not the goal. The goal is to have some nuances, so there is a way to create nuances with the brush. For that, you need to practice. If you have rooms where you need to pour a leveling compound and then put another type of flooring, like laminate polyvinyl chloride, it doesn't matter. Practice varnishing it like this. If you ever need to do this in a bigger room, you'll be a varnishing pro. I still need to remove the masking tape from the edges. I've removed the tops and will use a utility knife to cut and remove everything. I'm waiting for the varnish to dry at the wall floor junction before peeling everything off. We'll install the white medium density fiberboard baseboards with polymer glue, and I'll film it for the next video. After that, we'll install the water heater, which will also be covered in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you very soon.